bubble, bubble, bubble.
Hey, it's hump day and we're early by a minute or half a minute. Something like that. You should have started it when I started it, Rob. Now it's just weird.
Oh, okay. There you go.
He gets a minimum effort puppy already.
Oh, your puppy. Oh, look at your puppy. I like his little...
Fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
Hey, we're almost like a real show. How's it going, everybody?
I'm going to get a lot of use out of that. I fire you so often.
Midnight Edge After Dark. Today's show. Jamie
April
Lee Curtis
Fools, we're done. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, actually, we should. Hello, this is Midnight Edge After Dark. We're turning over a new leaf. We're becoming the feminist version of this show. We've been taking over.
Better not be. What the fuck am I doing here then?
Today we're going to talk about swatches.
Yeah, fuck. I want to talk about like Star Trek and shit. I'll just go hang out with Red Letter Media then.
We're gonna sip white wine and talk about our feelings.
Yeah, and feelings. Yeah, it's a lot about feelings today. Feelings in chat room. Feelings in YouTubes. All right, we're kidding. Obviously, we're just kidding. April Fools. Yes.
All right.
Hey,
well,
phrasing.
Jamie Lee Curtis skulking around the set of The Mandalorian. There's a flap over America Chavez's ass.
Do what now?
Yeah, well, there's a rumor still going around that Black Widow is going to be released to streaming. We don't know.
You serious?
Well, people keep running with it.
I know. We'll get into that though. Definitely. So yeah, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. How many weeks are we into this quarantine now? 16?
It feels like we've been in quarantine 73? A year and a half. 93?
Is that what you said, Mecca?
73.
73?
Oh, yeah. That voice, as you hear.
Oh, should I be presentable?
If you can.
I got took my makeup off.
Miss Background.
I think it only matters if we just whap the whapper.
Yeah. Usually.
It's all about the whapper.
Actually, I don't look too different with or without makeup. I mean, I certainly look better than all these goddamn celebrities without their makeup.
Honestly, when I saw you in Vegas, unless you had some darker lipstick or eyeshadow on, I couldn't tell you if you were or not either. So.
Well, Vegas is mostly sweated off, too. So,
is it live or is it Rex? I don't know.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.
The original haters.
We're done.
You do realize all this stuff, the clips and sound bites and everything. That's what people hated about what I was doing.
I know, but then StreamYard embraced it.
Doesn't people like it anymore?
Dude, Rob, I'm not going to sit here and sound like a whiny brat because I know we're getting ghost banded or shadowed or whatever the fuck right now anyway, probably because we only got 35 people in here and that's not normal for a Wednesday, but I don't really care. I just want to say hello to all our normal people. Yeah, Gary's still going. I want to say hello to our regulars who did happen to show up, but no, I mean, a lot of times I see some of these other podcasts and they do the things they do and it's like we were doing that a fucking year ago. We were doing that like 2 years ago. What are they doing that's any different than us? But you know, I don't want to complain and bitch. I like seeing, you know, people get success except for John Campia and that bitch Carol Baskin.
Greetings and salutations.
You guys haven't watched Tiger King yet, have you?
No,
I haven't.
But I showed you Joe's
yeah, that guy Joe. Yeah.
I'm gay. I'm running for president. I have two husbands. I have kinky sex. I have tried drugs. I got a judgment against me from that bitch down in Florida. Yeah. Hello.
And I robbed me a mean motor scooter.
Hello. Somebody was hot rodding behind Mecca there. Jesus.
Yeah, I got the window open because it's like 80
I
degrees
know, it's
today, and then
lovely
it's going to snow 2 inches tonight because
Is it
Colorado.
supposed to?
Your weather has ADD.
It does.
Drake is 6, Midnight's Edge. Hello, and Congo. Hope you're aware.
Congo. Ghosted by who? Ghosted by YouTube. It's called Shadow Band or whatever, I guess. Some people don't get your the notification, and then like normally on the sidebar where it shows who's live, you won't pop up there.
Well,
But
I got the notification. Let me refresh the page here, see if it shows up on the sidebar.
We're getting a lot of echo too.
I guess people could reduce the buffer size. Crazy. Yeah, it's not showing up on the sidebar.
Yeah, we're getting shadow banned. Oh well, shit happens. But yeah, Tiger King is insane. I love that show. I was just talking about it last night with Jesse and Jeff over on Mindless Entertainment. It's a crazy show, crazy documentary on Netflix if you haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Congo.
We got a cha-ching.
We do. Oh, we got a Canadian kaching. Yes. Christopher Richot. Richot? Richard.
Maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong.
This is Christopher Richard, $5 Canadian. This is what happens. They are watching Congo over you guys.
Hell yeah. It's the #1 movie in Paraguay right now.
That's all I need is for more people to watch Congo.
It went up half a point on the Internet Movie Database, folks.
He's never going to let me forget it now.
I've got a Jurassic Park movie coming out here, too.
Jurassic Park was my baby.
Yeah, fuck off. You weren't the one to come up with all the cool shit in that movie. It was me. That's why I went on to doing killer gorillas in the next movie, because I knew what the fuck I was doing. You come in there and you had talking fucking raptors. What the fuck is that shit?
Without me, Steven Spielberg never would have had good coffee.
You draw the line at apes. Apes is where you draw the line at talking animals, okay? Nobody's going to believe a talking lizard. They'll believe a talking ape, but not a lizard, okay? It's just the way it goes. Congo. Bye. That's right.
Frank and Kathy, everybody. Oh boy, those two have a real love-hate relationship, don't they?
Yeah, he loves to hate her.
Frank and Kathy.
Draw the line at talking lizards.
Congo.
Congo.
All right.
Oh, all right. Let's talk about some news here. Yeah, there's been some rumors going around that maybe Michael Biehn and another A-list actress may be joining the second season of Mandalorian, and her breasts as well. Ryan Geiger sent us $5, Rob.
$5, ka-ching. Ryan Geiger went to the store to buy a copy of Congo, but they were sold out. So I bought episode 4 in 4K instead.
Good for you. I bought episode 4, 5, and 6 in 4K today, and that was it. Fuck their box set bullshit. And I ain't buying no faux crap. I mean, I like episode 3 and episode 1's okay. But episode 1, I don't even know how they did that one, because episode 2 and 3 were only filmed in 1080i, so they can't be in 4K. So I have no idea. That's fake bullshit. But anyway, as far as Congo goes, what about Congo? You can't find it? Oh, that's horrendous. You can find Congo on Amazon. It's $9.99 on Blu-ray. It's amazing. You can see how crisp and clear it is. You can see into the Congo. It's beautiful.
You see all the individual hairs on the ape.
That's right. Congo. Yeah, I bet we've jacked up their sales on Congo on Amazon a little bit.
It's people like, I gotta check out this movie Congo.
Everybody's like, why are we selling so many Congo DVDs and Blu-rays? I don't know.
Lord,
We sold 4 last week.
Jamie Lee Curtis seen on the set of The Mandalorian, leading speculation she's been cast in season 2 of the Star Wars series.
And it's funny because I just heard this like 2 days ago. And I heard
Star
Michael Biehn and I heard Jamie Lee Curtis from one of our sources.
Yep.
Maybe in season 2.
Star Wars standalone series, The Mandalorian, may have a few famous faces. A new famous face for season 2. A Monday report from MakingStarWars.net. Oh yeah, I've used that site. Suggested that veteran actress Jamie Lee Curtis, 61. She's 61, really?
She doesn't look it though, does she?
I'm pretty sure her boobs aren't 61.
Oh fuck no, not anymore. Probably. They were real back in the day though.
Oh yeah, and they're spectacular.
We're likely so lucky.
I know. We'll likely join Pedro Pascal and Baby Yoda. It's a Baby Yoda show, Mecca.
That's really the only reason that it's there. But now I'm like worried I won't even get any of the Baby Yoda toys. So fuck my life.
And as she was seen on the set of the Disney Plus show recently, Curtis, who's best known for her hit films A Fish Called Wanda and Halloween, but No Trading Places, is the daughter of Hollywood Golden Age vets Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh. The Star Wars franchise is known for casting veteran actors such as Alec Guinness in A New Hope and Laura Dern in The Last Jedi. Okay, now I immediately see a problem with this. It's saying that The Last Jedi is a Star Wars movie. It's clearly not.
That's a problem.
There was an indication about what character she would play. The writer, Jason Ward, says that for a few days during the filming of Star Wars The Mandalorian, aka The Baby Yoda Show, second season, I had Jamie Lee Curtis at the location for the filming of the show. He added, if he was wrong about her being on the set for The Mandalorian, she may have been on the set of the nearby production of Avatar 2. They're really going through with that, Avatar 2?
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
Wrong one. I meant to play.
You serious?
That's what I meant to play.
J.K. Simmons is a national treasure.
Hell yeah.
The two are filming in the same general location, he added. One day around the set, I can see Curtis having been there for a set visit, reported Ward. But there were multiple times she was around, and I think she has a role in the series. I reached out to sources for confirmation at that moment, and I can't get a total confirmation of it because of the current climate of the world, if you know what I mean. I reached out to Curtis, and I didn't get a response back.
No, it's the Goldalorian girls.
The Golden Shower Girls.
Oh, that's on your porn list.
It is. Season 1 featured Pascal as the main Mandalorian, Din Djarin. Why do we shouldn't have a name. He shouldn't have a name. Who's hunted down after he abducts Baby Yoda. After having handing the child over to dark forces. That's
proofread your shit.
Proofread your shit, man. And this is a UK website. They pride themselves on proper English. After handing the child over to dark forces that are the last of the Empire. Also in the series are Carl Weathers as Grief Karga, not anymore, he died. Gina Carano as Cara Dune, and Nick Nolte as Carl Weathers is still alive in the series.
Nick Nolte.
Just Nick Nolte as, yeah, I'm sorry, that was my bad. Season 2, which will drop in October 2020, has already added some interesting names like Michael Biehn and Rosario Dawson, who is set to play the live-action version of Ahsoka Tano. Dawson, 40, will be playing the first live-action version of Ahsoka, who has already appeared in the CGI animated series Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. But of those series are considered canon. Okay, now the shared selection thing got popped up in the way. But of those series that's grammatically incorrect. But of those series are considered canon by Star Wars aficionados, as they come from original Star Wars creator George Lucas as well as Dave Filoni, who among His many credits include writing for, directing, and producing The Mandalorian. That's an awkwardly worded sentence. Is that me, or did that not make a lick of sense?
This entire thing is awkwardly worded, it seems like.
Well, the Daily Mail doesn't have the best people writing for them, do they?
I was gonna say, aren't they kind of like they're almost like a not a tabloid, but damn close. Hey Jeff, you want to join us, Jeff? Are you busy, Jeff? Would you like to join us, Jeff?
His son is working for the Daily Mail. It's a steady job, but he wants to be a paperback writer.
Gilbert Gottfried. What about Gilbert Gottfried?
What about Gilbert Gottfried? What do you want to know? What's it to you?
I was on the set of The Mandalorian, and this green booger walks up to me, and he grabbed me in the nuts, and I screeched. And that's all. That's the story. That green booger was Steven Spielberg.
Ahsoka is one of the main protagonists of the Clone Wars, introduced as Anakin's premier Jedi Padawan apprentice. She is of the Togruta race of aliens, characterized by her orange skin and unique striped headpiece or headtails.
It's pronounced Tragata.
Tragata? Okay, Tragata. For those keeping track, Anakin, Jedi Master, yada yada, becomes Darth Vader, yada yada. We know the story. Dawson's casting is a Star Wars fan's dream come true, quite literally, as the 25th hour actress herself stated her desire to play Ahsoka way back in 2017 when responding to a user on Twitter. The tweet spurred fans everywhere to campaign for Rosario to appear in a Star Wars movie as the character, which she even acknowledged on Good Morning America months later, saying it would be amazing and asking, "Internet, help me out." Oh, I'd gladly help her out. Mandalorian is a sci-fi western, yada 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 yada. Baby Yoda show. It remains to be seen exactly how Dawson's character, Ahsoka Tano, will figure into the world populated by the Mandalorians, a creed of assassins made famous by Boba Fett. It's spelled Boba Fett. They spell it Boba Fett, B-O-B-B-A.
No, that's his brother. That's his brother. His lesser known brother. Kind of like John Stamos' brother. I can't remember his name. He's lesser remembered, see?
In February, Variety
stop talking like that.
In February, Variety reported The Mandalorian slated to return to Disney Plus streaming platform with new episodes in October of this year. It remains to be seen whether or not the show will be able to meet that date in light of the current industry-wide halt in production due to the Kung flu. And that's it. Jamie Lee Curtis, this picture of Jamie Lee Curtis here, like I said, she's got like I said, damn, her plastic surgery did some fine work.
I think she's natural, though.
Boba Fett. Oh, they had
I
good.
would
They had
go
a
up
good.
to those milk makers and go. Blah, 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 blah. Just saying.
Okay, I'm done.
God damn, Kathy, why can't you look like that?
No, Bob. No. Steven Anderson. They're saying Boba Fett, not Boba Fett. They made this is clearly a mistake. They probably have like college kids writing for this website.
Bob is his real name.
A creed of assassins made famous by Boba Fett in the original films.
So that's really the big news. What else was there? Well, we've lost a lot of people because of the coronavirus and a few other things lately. Adam Schlesinger, who was one of the founding members of Fountains of Wayne and a filmmaker. Last week we lost Stuart Gordon, who was a director.
I thought he was just in the hospital.
No,
he passed away. 52. And there's been some other older actors and actresses who also passed away. I haven't really gotten into these things just because I don't feel like we should really. It's I don't know. I don't know how to deal with it really, but our thoughts and everything go out to the families and to anybody who's dealing with this shit right now. We even know a few people who are dealing with it. So, hopefully everybody pulls through this because I have a feeling things are going to get a little worse before they get better. But speaking of the situation and get back on the news, as Rob pointed out, there's tons and tons of rumors that keep floating around that Black Widow and some other movies are going to hit digital early. And I can't express enough how much I don't think that's going to happen, not just because of what the Theater Association chief said, but I've even heard from my sources that this is not the case. They even are hoping that a lot of things will be back into production by May, and they will they're planning, from what I heard, to do limited productions in a sense that they won't have like catering and a bunch of other people hanging around that don't necessarily need to be there. So it'll be very stripped productions to where it'll just be the actors, costumers, maybe a director, producer, and a grip, and just the bare necessities of what they'll need to get some of this shit done. I don't know what you feel about that, Rob, but that's what I've been hearing anyway.
Yeah, I mean they'll they'll try to go on. They'll try to resume a lot of stuff with a bare bones crew. At the very
yesterday a guy who played a general in The Last Jedi passed away. There's been quite a few names, so I don't really want to get into too much. But yeah,
I'm so bummed. I was a big fan of Fountains of Wayne.
Yeah, there's been a lot of sad news coming out of this. And I can't help but think maybe Kenny Rogers wasn't another victim of this, considering he was only 80, and I don't think he was that unhealthy either. So I don't know. It's really fucked up. I hope we get through this. I hope it's true that everybody's hoping that we'll be back to work within a month. But not to get too much.
3 at least. I would say 3.
Yeah, I think it's a little premature. I do. I really don't think that they, unless they can do these skeleton crews and make it work. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of areas where I've been where it's like it doesn't even seem like they're affected.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like you go down Main Street or something and there's it doesn't feel like anything's really closed.
Yeah, I just went to Walmart earlier today, and the town I went to, it was like everybody was out and about, like nothing had changed. There was a few things closed, and of course you can only go through drive-thrus and stuff like that, but like Walmart's open, all the other gas stations and all that kind of shit, and there's tons of vehicles. I was just like, God, you would think that nothing had changed. So hopefully it's not that bad in the areas you're at. I know in some of the bigger cities it's gotten pretty bad, but yeah, I'd hate to think that anybody who listens to us is affected by this. Although I already know, like I said, people in our circle that are dealing with it. So fingers crossed and hopes and prayers and all that good stuff. And we'll get through this all together, and it'll be just a few months more. But don't expect, again, not to get back on this shit without jumping into a weird, transition here, but don't expect a bunch of these movies to get released anytime soon unless this drags out a hell of a lot longer than we expect. And even then, I don't plan on seeing any of that shit too soon, because they've got to have stuff for when things resume. They have to have movies ready for the theaters when they kick back up and all that kind of shit too. So,
well, you got to figure they're gonna. I mean, the theaters, everything's gonna take a while to get back going. I mean, it's not like a switch you can just flip it and everything just resumes. I mean, the workers got to be rehired, and they gotta go through a release schedule, etc.
No, I know, but everybody's like, oh, well, I keep hearing that they're gonna put Wonder Woman and Black Widow and all this shit on streaming. It's like, no, they're being pushed out to these other dates because these productions that are being delayed aren't going to be ready in time. So they got to have something else instead. I'm sure they're hoping within a year from now everything's back to normal, or at least close to normal. You know what I mean? I doubt that they're hoping, I doubt they're planning on it going much longer than that. Even though nobody knows. That's the problem, is we get so much misinformation. We haven't heard enough information. Yeah, Steven Henderson heard you cough. You're fired.
No, my God, I was choking on my own spit. So no worries.
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
So yeah. I'm just picking on you.
It's actually all like morning. You should see me. Like I took a swig of coffee, and you know how like sometimes it goes down the wrong pipe. I was just like all morning. I was like, ugh, you know, it bothers me all morning, and a little bit, still a little bit now too. So,
I
Hopefully,
think we
more-
had it in Vegas because we were out there right during Chinese New Year. So
I
we
do
might have.
start. I'm starting to wonder if you guys had it, and Jeff and Jesse had it, and shit like that. And
Yeah, because like everybody I was hearing about on
I'm almost
YouTube,
sure Mary had it.
yeah, everybody I was hearing around on YouTube was, like arcade channels and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, we had this really bad flu and it knocks you out for about a month. And then I had whatever that knocks you out for about a month. And because remember, it was like the middle of January where I got it. I wasn't feeling better until probably the end of February.
yeah, same here. Yeah, it knocked you, not whatever it was. It knocked me on my ass for like 2 days.
Yeah, you guys were both pretty sick for a while.
And, yeah,
Mhm.
and then it was like you start to feel better, but it was a slow climb back to feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, and Prince Charles is already recovered.
Well, yeah, then you've got them saying, oh yeah, they lied about how bad it was, which we kind of figured. So of course they're gonna probably lie because we were hearing shit about that. When we got back, we're like, oh yeah, I think we got the Kung flu because we
What
knew
else?
that there was a bad thing going around in China back then in January.
Well, and that's what I kept saying is, I mean, they just let us know about it late last year. We had all this time before everything was shut down. You gotta figure it's already been spread at least probably once throughout the entire fucking entire globe already. It don't take that long, especially if everybody's still traveling and doing their things.
Especially during the holidays. You've got
Right.
people coming out of every part of the fucking planet in these airports. Especially like if you're going through Denver or New York, any of the New York airports, like those are super busy. Vegas goes everywhere.
Right, and then there's of course reports coming out today. Surprise, surprise! Not since
Yeah,
the
surprise,
sarcasm.
surprise. China
They lied to
lied.
us. Yeah, China line. Yeah. Nelson Sharita, thank you so much for $2. Can Marvel DC Image continue with just digital? I think that's their plan for now. They released Children of the Atom. I know that.
Actually, no. They said they're not going to be releasing any books.
Oh, they
was
didn't. I know they got the Children of the Atom out though, because Gary was showing it earlier.
Oh, okay, they do. Okay, that maybe they released that maybe because I was watching Gary's video earlier, and he said they've actually pulled the release schedule for digital as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, please. But I don't want to because I know somebody will, but like I said, it looks like they're gonna be halting all publication for now. They're looking. DC supposedly was looking into going around Diamond. What difference does it make though? The shops are closed.
Well, yeah, and the books are shit anyway. That's my thing. It's like the comic books that they're trying to push are shit anyway. So the fact that even if they like postpone them, it's like, oh gee, postponing a bunch of shit books that nobody wants.
Gotham High, really? Gotham High? I mean, what was they said? She has no interest in comics. This Vanessa de la Cruz or whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah, well, she's never written anything yet.
Never written anything comics related. It's all this just kind of beach reading. This tween romance stuff. And DC calls her up because apparently they still think young adult shit is hot. Hey, we want you to write a comic. What do you want to do? Oh, let me ask my husband. Honey, who's a superhero for DC?
I don't know.
Batman?
Let me ask my boy. Let me ask your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucked that up. Sorry. It was gonna be funny.
I guess Batman. Now she comes.
The kids are into the Batman. That's in the top 8 slots of the top 10 here.
Yeah, and then she's not writing Bruce Wayne. She's writing Bruce Wang.
We get fucking gay Uncle Alfred. They might as well just. Yeah, I was gonna say. There you go.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, I smell a cameo. Oh my. And she's angling for a CW series, so it's gonna be Feelings in Hallways.
It's what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. It's no big deal, but I mean, it is to a point because they're taking these characters in a direction they don't need to go in.
I wouldn't doubt if Warner Brothers had said to her, "Hey, you know what? Play your cards right. There's a CW series in this for you." So why would Bruce Wayne or Bruce Wang? This is Bruce Wang.
Bruce Wang.
Because they made him half Asian. It's Bruce Wang. No, really, she made him half Asian.
I know.
Well, and I think it's ironic that they didn't even stop to think that this is probably not the best idea right now, considering
the Asian
Batman,
guy,
Asian guy, yeah,
the Gotham Bats. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
They picked the wrong time to pin her to China.
Saved by the Bell, Gotham. Yeah. Because it's all right. I'm saved by the bell. It's really.
And we got Jack Napier.
I'm wondering what's next. Green Lantern babies?
Green Lantern babies. They'd love to save the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce
Bruce Wang, that's a porn star name. Yeah. Oh my.
Oh my. When are you going to bring over some of your friends, Bruce?
I'm going to enjoy exploding that bat cave. Oh my.
Uncle Alfred, you're so weird.
Oh, you don't know how weird I can be. Just don't go into my closet, or you'll be coming out of one. Oh my!
Dear Red Letter Media, do you need a female sidekick? Love Nick.
Oh. Oh. I'll bet you get plenty of kicks out of that side. Oh my!
Hey, phrasing.
Oh my!
Yeah, if everybody petitioned Red Letter Media to see if they could get me on their show.
I've been trying to get a hold of them forever.
We used to do
I'm much cuter than you.
All that I can't argue with.
we used to do a segment on the old podcast years ago that I was on called Ask Sulu. And we actually had an email address for people to write in to ask Sulu questions. Well, that's a very interesting question, and I can see what a conundrum that could be. Oh my! Where did that start? Oh my!
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Oh my! There was a commercial with George Takei. You know, this summer everything will be blowed up, and he was supposed to be the bad guy in a movie. Oh my!
I want to make a movie just to put George Takei in it, and I'd put like Clint Howard in it.
Willie Woodward says, "How are you, Rob? Just doing my elderly check for the day." Oh, thank you very much.
We should do a buddy comedy with Clint Howard and George Takei. That'd be funny.
You could probably just get Clint Howard to do it, though.
Clint, it's time to go out on patrol.
I want to go get laid and high. I don't know. That's stupid.
Oh, well, it is California, so we do have legal marijuana.
Really? All right.
Oh, God. All right.
Oh, yeah. What was the other news you guys sent me here?
I don't know. Black Widow.
Black Widow. Black Widow is a widow.
There's the thing about America Chavez's ass is too supple.
From Viking to Hulking, Alexander Ludwig joins Brie Larson's Captain Marvel 2. Is that a April Fool's joke, though? No, that came from the other day.
Okay, let's see. I just closed Twitter.
And nobody cares. Mecca did send us something here to talk about. If not, Nelson Sharetta sent us another $5. Rob,
Let's try it. $5. I'm a big fan of manga and anime. How can manga be so popular while comics are dying? Why can't the comic industry use the same process as manga? Because you have a bunch of people like Dana Schwartz who think they know better and they'd rather be certain than right. Dana Schwartz, Chuck Wendig, who else? This Melissa De La Cruz with Gotham High, Daniel Kibbles and Bits there, Vita Ayala. I mean, take a look at who you have writing American comics.
Yeah.
Garbage people.
I guess they did work together when Clint was a kid, according to Parrot Head. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey.
Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, duh.
I mean, you have.
Well, that's kind of why I brought it up anyway. I didn't.
I mean, the short. I mean, like Marvel and DC have the short bus crew. Yeah.
Nah.
The PC short bus.
Oh, so the Star Trek writers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Michael Chabon have any new videos?
Hello, little humans. How are you today?
Did we miss any? Let's go watch a video of his. We need to be cheered up. It's all depressing.
Our fascination with canon is the way is killing the way we value stories.
That's the one Mecca brought up. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody just sent me this on Twitter.
No new one yet.
Gizmodo. So
Gizmodo's a worthless website.
It's filed under.
But this might be worth
it. From some pissy little bitch. Yeah, here's the whole thing. Like, just based on the title, canon and all of these things I can forgive if you can give me a reason why it's changing or an entertaining enough story with a good enough everything else to where I don't notice it.
Hello, young humans. Friend Michael Chabon, and I'm here for story time.
I almost feel bad.
Today's story is Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel. Mike Mulligan had a steam shovel, a beautiful red steam shovel. Her name was Mary Ann.
Oh my God. You're kidding me. Oh my God. Hello, young. Is this today's? No.
Mike Mulligan was very proud of Mary Ann. He always said that she could dig as much in a day
the likes and dislikes are off.
Dig in a week. But he has never been quite sure that this was.
He got his feelings hurt.
There's Mike. And there's Mary Ann.
Did I read this when I was a kid? Mike and the Magic Steam Shovel?
This is new to me.
Mike and Mary Ann have been digging together for years and years. Mike Mulligan took such good care of Mary Ann, she never grew old. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who dug the great canals for the big boats to sail through.
This is a boring one.
Yeah, I did read this one when I was a little kid. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so Mecca's got this article from Gizmodo. Craving canon is killing the way we value stories. This is only an hour old.
As the pop culture we love becomes increasingly dominant, that's how I think James Whitbrook sounds. Whitbrook, the guy who wrote it, sounds like. It's increasingly dominated by vast franchises of interconnected worlds and stories. So does it become dominated by one singular question from diehard fans. Is the thing we're about to consume canon to everything else we consumed before? It's
what does he look like, Rob? Play the list. I've got his picture in front of me. Guess what he looks like.
Okay, he's wears a plaid shirt, he's got a beard, he's got thick horn-rimmed glasses. He looks like Ethan's soy boy.
Not quite. Close. Very close. You're not too far off. This is him.
Oh my god! He looks like a Poindexter. That's hilarious. Oh my god.
This is the kid. This is the guy who got picked last for everything.
I just see
Yeah, at least
people.
Yeah.
This is the guy who argues with us about canon.
You serious?
Oh, he's British too.
Oh yeah.
Is that supposed to make a difference?
I don't know. We can probably find what he sounds like.
Okay. Is the thing we're about to consume canon to everything else we've consumed before. It's an attitude that's turning our love of stories into something bizarre and archival competition. Canon is not inherently a bad thing, of course. It can provide structured chaos, and it can provide a sense of not just continuity, but stakes that continuity progresses. The idea lets characters bear the impact impact events of their journeys, not across not just one narrative, but many, allowing them to grow and change to the point that they may even be entirely different kinds of people compared to where we first met them. There's still plenty of room for variety and interpretation, even in even a relatively strictly defined canon. Just look at Star Wars and the kinds of stories it can tell, despite the mandate from upon high that anything told must fit into what's been established since Disney took over the franchise. No, since George created the franchise, jackass. But those stories benefit from the added weight of being definitive interpretations and events that flesh out an entire galaxy worth of stories. But where canon, or rather our hunger for it, goes terribly wrong is whether something matters or not becomes the base standard for how we consider a piece of media. Can I just slap
This
him?
idiot liked Birds of Prey. Fuck him.
It's an attitude. But in the media commentary that is developed around these fandoms and the blockbuster franchises, they dominate our popular culture. Critics and fans alike are now less interested in actually interpreting a piece of media thematically or to engage with why they liked or disliked it, but instead pick it apart and break it down to the base components of what are essentially its pure, unflinching facts.
Hey, ladies, I heard James quite the catch. He'll let you have a boyfriend.
Ooh, hi-yo. Google Star Wars or the Marvel movies, and you will likely see as many articles and videos with headlines: X confirms Y is canon. X questions answered by new media. Or X things we learned about character Z in this new book, movie, or TV show. As you will, critical essays about these stories, if not more. And before someone accuses me of throwing stones in glass houses, yes, IO9 totally does this too. Like I said, discussing canon can be fun. It can add lots to a series. Oh God, shut up. Shut the fuck up, Phil. Shut the fuck up. Oh, it's not very long. But this craving for it, above all else, is a toxic attitude. Not just to the way we talk about pieces of media from a critical perspective, but in fan circles as well. They were mean to me. They called me a poopy head and four eyes.
You are.
The hunger for facts, above all else, leads to things like filler episode becoming a derogatory term for stories that don't advance the larger ongoing plot of a narrative or don't include some shocking new revelation that someone can add to a list. It predicates the gatekeeping, it predicates the gatekeeping act of being a fan that is built on how much you know about a thing over whether you actually enjoy that thing or not. It's an attitude that in turn feeds the equally unruling and constantly growing spoiler culture because of fandom that values pure details above all else. But
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
That's right. It is idiotic. The Need Robs discussion. Hey, I mean, he mentioned mine. The Need Robs.
Yeah.
Discussions about the stories we get of nuance and interpretation. Because who cares what you think happened, when there's an answer from the Word of God to that question you might have had. And more sincerely, beyond, oh, fuck off, pal. Beyond.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
And meshes? Yeah, meshes. I need glasses. It meshes our love of a world, not to the world itself, but to the masters of the world behind, masters behind that world. To twist a lit crit turn of phrase, there cannot be death of the author. If the authors got their own fandom wiki, what?
He's not even making sense anymore.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
But yeah, it's fine if you want something to matter to a world and characters you care about, but it shouldn't be the be all and end all to your investment in them either. Fandom is such a wide, shareable passion, full of different opinions and interpretations about a thing, united by a shared, vested interest and love for storytelling. Value the sterile facts of those stories more than the things about them that make us think or feel is a sad thing indeed.
You know what, Rob? I want to play Monopoly, but we're not going to use the rules, okay? We're going to do something completely different, okay? Each board, each little square on the board, think of that like a checkerboard. And when I jump over your character, you have to give me all your money, okay? And there's no buying of houses or anything like that. We're not going to do that. And then when I get all the way around the board, you put another piece on top of mine, and I'm a king now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we're going to play Monopoly.
Oh, and if the race card goes around 2 times the board, you get an Uncle Wiggly.
Yes. On Tuesdays.
But I'm interpreting Monopoly my own way. Why can't I
That's
interpret?
Right. Rules don't matter. Canon doesn't matter.
No. We're going to use 5 dice. And
Yep.
you're going to use 4 dice of Monopoly on defense.
I wonder if this is the guy that I was arguing with on Twitter the other day that was like,
Maybe.
"You're bullying me, and I'm having a panic attack, and I said stop," and blah. Like you started.
Christ Almighty! You gotta be kidding! Someone actually had a panic attack from.
Oh, I've seen that stupid shit before too.
Yeah, I've seen the guy. He like butted into my conversation. I kept just asking him why he needed to argue or why my opinion affected his enjoyment of the show. Oh, you're hurting the feelings of it, and basically I just kept questioning him, and he felt that was an attack. So yeah, and then I had another guy just trying to argue about canon too. Like there's a lot of these guys that just want to argue. About
how about we shoot James Whitbrook out of a cannon? How about that?
Well, my whole thing is like, if the story was decent, like the Klingons look different in TOS versus TNG, but I was smart enough to realize, okay, makeup and effects were different then, and they didn't really change them that much. And then they looked, and I didn't care about an explanation of canon because it was a good show. I really didn't care. And you know what? Why canon is important? To keep it consistent so you know what to expect for the next thing. But really, it wouldn't matter even that much if the shows and stories were decent, if they're engaging, entertaining. They're not just a bunch of mishmash of let's insert this scene to get to the next scene to get to the next scene.
Not adhering to canon is why we get something like Bruce Wang.
Yeah. Bruce Wayne, because he's no longer Bruce Wayne. This is why you don't have a black James Bond, because how else are you going to portray a toxic white male problematic character?
They won't have to. They'll just change it. That's what they do.
Well, and that's the problem. You don't change it.
I know.
Stop changing shit.
It goes against the whole point.
You don't tell stories like it's Fortnite. You don't just add all the features you want and then click continue. Okay, continue.
You know what you should do, Mecca, and this would probably make you a shit ton of money. Go out and take a bunch of public domain stories that are predominantly female stories, like Emma and Little Women, shit like that. Mm-hmm. Go through, change it all to men and shit through the whole fucking thing. Change everything to men and republish it and see how long it takes for somebody to throw a fit.
Yeah.
And in the process, you'll make a buttload of money.
I'm sure a lot of people have already done it, though. I'm sure.
And all you got to do is change all the she's to he's.
Oh, I'm sure it's been done.
Change all the names to guy. I know, but I'm just making a point here. But I was just curious how long it would take for somebody to lose their fucking minds.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't, because you're brave and bold, right? Mm-hmm. Sure. No, but true. Canon counts, guys. I mean, yes, like Mecca said, you can get away with ancillary bullshit and the audience can accept a lot of stuff as long as what you're giving us makes sense, or at least is 10 times better than what we were getting. There was a reason before this is the reason why this is the 4th or 5th time Halloween's been rebooted now. It's like they did it before once because things had gotten so convoluted. They're like, fuck this, we need to make it simple. I'm willing to accept shit like that. I'm willing to go there if it means that things have gotten so bad. But if nothing was wrong with it, why are you changing it? That's the problem. If I don't get it. It's not like Star Trek was going out of style. It was probably at its peak. I mean, it wasn't going to get any bigger than it was. I mean,
yeah. Are we ready to put James Whitbrook in a trebuchet yet and launch him into the sun?
We got to ask his girlfriend's boyfriend first. Because he might need him to do dishes later. So,
who the fuck is calling? My brother's calling me.
Well, just
should I take the call?
Take it live on the air.
Yeah, take it on the air. Then we can hear him.
But Brain, what's up? I heard, yeah.
Speakerphone.
Speaker, put it on speaker. What happened?
Hold on, speakerphone. You're on the air. You are on the air. You're on. Can you hear that?
He hung up.
No.
No.
What do you mean I'm on the air?
You're on
what
the
do you
podcast.
mean I'm on the air?
Hey, it's great to be with you out there.
Yeah. I know. Fountains of Wayne. Yeah. Adam Schlesinger.
Tessie, 1, 2, 3. Huh? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Which guy? He was a drummer, wasn't he?
No, he was the bass player.
Oh, the bass.
Well, he played bass. He was a multi-instrumentalist. Bass, piano, drums.
I got you. All right.
All right. Later.
He's like all the people I know. They like come up to me with, "Oh, I bet you'd like this. I heard such and such." It's like, yeah, I know already. I do this for a living, man.
Did you hear any of that? Or?
Yeah, we heard it. Nelson Sharetta sent us $2.
Thank you, Nelson Sharetta. You're on the air. Oh, really?
He was all ready and geared up to go.
Yeah. He's a dumbass. Pride, Prejudice, and Patriarchy.
There you go, Mecca. There's your first one. 3 cheers for Rob's brother for bitching out. No, he didn't bitch out. He went on the air. He was ready to rip and roar.
Oh yeah, he's always ready.
You never know, Rob.
Yeah, well,
get too many more of these, and I might have to hire your brother.
Oh, I didn't mean to. Watch, there's the other puppy behind him. Watch.
Yeah, he's just like.
We should watch puppy videos and do voices for them.
Yeah, I gotta find some more. I gotta find some more videos for our things. Like I like minimum effort puppy. I want more. And
He's
one's
so
like. I gotta find more of those.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Well, I mean, fried fish is mine.
And I like this.
They're not people, they're hippies.
You got to put Brie Larson's head on that.
I know. I tried. I couldn't find a PNG of her head.
Well, you just
I gotta have to make it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it.
Cut it out. Yeah.
But no, yeah, and I like that one. And of course, this one I'm gonna get a lot of use of because I fire you all the time.
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
That's our day.
That's back when Elizabeth Banks was actually cool.
Back when she was hot as fuck too.
Oh yeah. Oh, again, like she's still a very attractive lady, but still,
She is, but she's gotten
Not
stupid.
cute animal? What do you mean not to do a cute animal? Why don't you want us, Willie Woodward, to do cute animal videos?
Cute animal videos rock.
Have you seen Tucker Budson? I mean, that's awesome.
Oh, he's so cute.
Well, it's like I figured out what Sadie did to her goddamn frisbee today. Holy shit! Let me see if I can bring the video up. Speaking of animal videos, got the whole backyard full of sticks.
We don't have a lot of news. I mean, so we got to fill some time.
I sent you guys like 20 things.
I know you did. We covered a lot of them already.
But
we got Q Storm. We got Q Storm here. He can talk a little Trek with us. How you doing, Q Storm?
Hey, how are you?
Q Storm.
Hello.
What's going on?
So how about that Picard?
Yeah. So how did we like Picard?
Are you doing stand-up comedy now?
Yes,
we're doing that. Well, I don't know how far you guys have got into this. I don't want to cover. First of all, how do I sound? I don't have my headphones in. Does it sound?
You sound good. You sound
okay. Okay. It sucked.
Very succinct.
I'm watching. Thanks to you guys, and thanks to Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Is that his name?
Yes, sir.
The last show I did, I went out and bought the Blu-ray, the TNG Blu-rays. They came about a month ago before all this madness really kicked in. And I'm sitting here watching them, and I'm like, Picard is definitely my favorite captain outside of Kirk. And what this show did to Patrick Stewart is a travesty. And I said it then on that last show. I say it now. I said it in my review. I am disappointed in Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes that they allowed this to happen, that they never stopped. I mean, again, I know you, Rob, and maybe you, Tom, you guys are Seinfeld fans. There's the story that Jason Alexander tells, classic story, about how he went to Larry David and said, listen, we got to do a rewrite. There's no way my character would do this. And Larry's like, no, your character would do that. I'm the character, and that's exactly what I did. Why didn't Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes do that?
That's a good question. It's a very good question. I don't have a good answer for that. I can't wait to see what Red Letter Media says. Jeez.
Did anybody behind it all?
Did anybody understand the plot first? Okay, before we, I don't want to take forever on this, but
I understood the plot, but it's stupid.
No, really,
right?
Look, guys. Let me just say this one thing.
Okay.
They dragged 8 suns around the planet.
Yeah.
Can I stop right there? I don't have to go forward, do I?
No, but the basic plot is that you got to start from Thaddeus dying, after the whole attack on Mars, because, that makes synthetics illegal. And the attack on Mars was brought on by the Romulans, and it destroyed the ships that were going to save their ass. Maybe they should have waited to attack until after they were saved. But anyhow, I digress. So then, there's that whole plot hole bullshit of that. And then the Borg nonsense, which has nothing to do with nothing other than to evidently bring Soji out of hiding. And then that is just so they can find out where this planet is, so then they can go attack it. And then the reason the androids are going to bring the ultimate AI is because they're about to be attacked by the Romulans. And Soong Jr. Has a change of heart after he's going to kill all of every living being in the universe because one of his robots killed one of the other robots. So, they're just as bad as humans. So he can't, in his own heart, kill everything now. And Picard died and got downloaded into a body that could have been used for Thaddeus. That's it. That's what happened. That's all that happened, really. Oh, and they technically killed Data by pulling out his USB drives.
Well, Data was already dead. It was just
I know it's stupid. It's stupid. I get it. I'm giving you the short version, but that's the basis here. That could all have been in one episode, mind you, maybe 2.
2 tops.
Well, they just wanted to drag it out.
I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I was just saying they were gonna they just wanted to drag it out to keep people subscribed to CBS All Access longer.
Well, and you forgot one reason they had to introduce the board, just so they could have a reason to bring Jerry Ryan back and look sexy, which I don't have a problem with, but I really think she deserved a little bit more than what she got in this show. And Jerry Ryan in this show, where we see her not acting like she is an automaton like she did in Voyager, she did it excellently, but here she's an actual human being. It's like, is that the best you could do with that character? You could have built a whole, 2 hours, 5 hours based on how did Seven or Annika, how did she regain her full humanity? Why did she become a Fenris Ranger? How did that happen? Where did she get her fighting skills from? That's all one episode right there. That's one arc right there you could have done a story about. But no, let's just throw her in and get all the old fanboys happy. It's just all this is. It was just smoke and mirrors. That's all it was.
I'm not even sure if it was that much. I mean, it took them forever, first of all, to get off of Earth.
Yep.
Matt G, hold on, Matt G, $5 super chat. The FM needs to come up with a code word for the thing, Phantom Menace, that you're not allowed to talk about to avoid shadow bang. Let's call it the whale probe.
Yeah, I don't even know if that has anything to do with the shadow banning so much as this. YouTube is on like manual or is on like
Superbot mode.
Superbot mode right now. Like nobody's there doing anything, and
it's YouTube's time of the month.
So what's the issue with YouTube? Real quick, someone can.
Nobody's there, so they can't check anything right now. It's everything's extra sensitive. The bots are extra sensitive right now.
Oh, I see.
It's shadow banning live streams, which means it doesn't show up on the left side of your screen when you click into YouTube to see who's live, and shit like that. So, yeah,
all the fun stuff. Yeah,
got it.
But my whole thing is. At the end,
that was good. I like that.
at the end, where they built the beacon and they sent the signal, and it was the freaking tentacle, like robotic tentacle monster from episode 6 or 5 or 6 of season 2 of Discovery.
See, I thought it was the World Destroyer from Man of Steel.
Well, and it doesn't help that I don't know. Did you hear that the entire bunch of shit not the entire, but a bunch of shit in the last couple episodes was reshot anyway? Did you hear about all that?
I did not.
So yeah, that does confirm what we reported. But yeah, evidently Captain Hubris was supposed to be the one there instead of Riker.
Wait, Captain who? I'm sorry.
The
Admiral
one that's
Hubris.
Admiral fucking Hubris.
Yeah.
Oh.
The white-haired chick. Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're getting what you wanted.
The one who Picard says who would never talk like this. You're just a waste of space.
Mm-hmm.
That woman.
Yeah.
That lady.
I thought you were getting laid tonight, Jeff.
Well, the kids have to go to bed first.
Oh well, yeah. Welcome, Scott from Sporking News Podcast. How you doing?
How's everybody?
Well, fantastic. I don't know if you've
Scott meet Q Storm. Q Storm meets Scott. Scott is a dick.
Hello.
Yes, I am. How you doing, Q Storm?
I'm good. Yourself?
Oh, fantastic.
You going stir crazy yet? I'm going stir crazy. How about you?
Oh yeah. Well, going from working now at home for a little bit and teaching my kindergartner that I didn't know they did this much math and reading and science it's a lot. It's a lot. My wife still works from home, so I'm fully teaching.
Kindergarten, and they're already doing physics and shit.
Pretty much, man. They have this thing down quick too. If the government can move as fast as these schools did, because teachers don't actually want to be there anyways, it'd be done by now. They had iPads out and everything, man.
Wow.
It's amazing. They're doing videos. My kid has to do videos back. It's nuts. It's nuts how how quickly they're like the army. They put it just like into place like in a day. But other than that, I sent the teacher a message saying, I don't know how you do it because I can't handle one. I can't imagine like 15 of them and not your kid.
And then you send another message. We accidentally invented time travel. I don't know what to do.
Oh,
exactly.
Oh, Monty Python and the Holy Grail is on BBC America.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Run away.
Not encouraging anyone to go and watch some counter programming to us right now, but
we already lost a couple of viewers, Rob. Thanks a lot.
I almost just left. It's only a flesh wound.
God damn it, Rob.
You're fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
So how are you all doing tonight?
I don't know, but I hear a kitty.
Oh, that's my new cat.
Oh, you got a new kitty?
Yeah. I decided to rescue her from the ravages of being outside.
Oh. Little kitty or older one?
Well, I got her from a rescue organization. They said she was 1 to 2 years old.
Oh, literally, you got it from a rescue. That's cool.
I'm a cat guy. What can I say?
Oh yeah, I was just showing. I was just showing my dog destroying her freaking toy when you got in here.
I saw that. Yeah. So I'm like, is that a commentary? Or?
Oh, well, we started talking about cute animals, and we have on our little video thing, we have little minimum effort puppy here, and we're talking about we need some more cute animals. But my dog Sadie, she's a vicious killer, as you can see what she was doing to that poor frisbee.
Oh, I got to see it. I missed that.
Let me see if I can bring it back up.
Can we start ragging on Picard a little bit more? I'm getting
absolutely.
I came at the right time.
So Seven's bi now, despite the fact that she never was before.
Yeah, she had a thing with Chakotay, didn't she?
So I loved it when a TV show finally allowed me to be bisexual. I have never been allowed to, ever, until Star Trek said it's okay because Seven turned bi despite her heterosexual romance in Voyager. Just so I could justify my own existence. I love that about Star Trek now.
So is that her way of saying she's actually bi in real life?
No, she's just doing it because representation, blah, blah, blah. Who cares?
Oh, okay. Well, that's dumb.
Because her manager or agent or whatever is a man who's married to the actor who plays Hugh. So she's all, representation rights, blah, 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 blah.
Stargate 404, $10. Breaking news. Kathleen Kennedy has been arrested on charges of vandalism. Iger and Chapstick are arrested on charges of espionage. The frozen mind of Walt Disney has been reinstated as eternal chairman. Get over it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. No, that's obviously an April Fool's joke. That's funny.
Can I ask anybody who watched the whole season, was there any hint of those two wanting to get together?
Nope.
No, only what Shaban said in an interview after the fact that they looked at each other and improvised a look in the middle, like during that Planet Vegas or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, they can, a synth can do a mind meld now, so maybe they could just telepathically talk to each other without ever having that ability.
She just wants to kill that damn thing.
That thing was awesome.
She's just like, fuck this frisbee.
I mean, wouldn't it make more sense? I mean, I don't know. I cringed when Rios and Agnes kissed each other. Doesn't it make sense? The one good scene, one somewhat well-written scene between Annika and Rios where they connect on some level. Didn't it make sense that they would connect? And I could see Agnes hooking up with Rafi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make more sense. Because Agnes and Rafi had more chemistry, They had cake and she cleaned up her puke. And
exactly. No, seriously, you're right.
I don't know. I think they didn't want Rios to look too manly and get the better looking woman. So they decided to do the reverse thing from the 80s movies where the ugly dude always got the really hot chick, Weird Science, and decided to have the ugly chick get the hot guy. That's what I thought.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Unless she is, born a male, like they said in the leaks, which obviously they either changed or wasn't true. Frankly, she's probably the better one in bed. She killed her ex. Crazy's always good in bed.
Truth.
Wow.
Truth. I mean, everyone's scared to try to, put her in jail. So she was like, I'm not going to kill anyone anymore. And they're all like, okay. Dumbest freaking show.
I know this show, that shit bothered me so much, especially like when Riker's like, get your ass out of here. He should have been like, except for you, bitch. We got some talking to do.
Exactly.
And drug her ass to fucking the Federation for fucking court, for
just
all the
beamed
shit
her right
she's done.
into a prison.
And then the same thing with fucking little murder bitch there, like you're under arrest, for the murder of Maddox. Yeah, and Soji, shit. I mean, honestly,
yeah,
I shouldn't just let her go either. But
I pulled this up yesterday, but I think it needs sharing again. If you want to screen share.
Yeah, this is so true. This is so fucking true. Raffi is the only one on there that isn't like, completely nuts.
Completely nuts or dead.
Well, she is completely nuts, but she's the lesser of the nuts.
Well, she was right. She was the one who knew all about the conspiracy and was right.
That's true.
For no reason, just because script said so. There's no reason she would have known.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. I was going to ask.
Picard's undead enabler of all this.
Well, yeah. And I was going to ask, in the first episode when, what was her name, Daj? Everyone says, okay, she's been activated. And then Soji, she's activated. What did that mean? Who was activated?
Nobody knows what that means.
They totally disregarded that because like the whole thing was like wasn't it supposed to be like if they activate then they can't deactivate, but Soji deactivated. So none of that shit made sense. And then it went nowhere and made no difference later on anyway.
Well, it wasn't even that she deactivated. What happened is Dodge activated and she had all the abilities, all the knowledge pretty much. Didn't maybe know where she got it, but knew it. When Soji activated, it was like this slow progression of like, wait a minute, I could do this? Like Dodge was jumping 100 yards, killing dudes. And Soji was like, do I have, could I pick this up? It was embarrassing. Like they screwed that all up. Like it should have been activated and boom. They might not know what they are, but they know what they can do. Man, they dropped the ball in this whole show.
No,
that's an understatement right there. They dropped the ball. I say they cratered it.
They popped it with a steak knife, squeezed all the air out, sat on it for a little bit, decided to take a shit in it, smeared it all over their faces, and then they kicked it to Patrick Stewart, who said, "Hey, I love this. This is exactly what I wanted."
Sounds about right.
He was just disappointed there weren't any Doom buggies in this series.
I was very disappointed there weren't any Dune buggies in this series. I was expecting Dune buggies. And I got none.
The question I have, do you think it'll ever leak because they made it a point early on in the season in an interview to say they had a script. He didn't like it. They went back and redid it to this script. Do you think that first one will leak?
No.
Yeah. Damn it. I would love to see the cluster, if it was a cluster or if it was just a normal Star Trek pre-STD.
It was bad.
I just think that they fundamentally, I don't know if this was the same writing team as Discovery. They fundamentally don't know how to plot a story. They just throw things in it. Those arms coming out of the hole, they don't know how to set things up. They don't know how to pay them off. You could have gotten rid of that whole middle part with the Borg cube and that, what was her name? She was hot, but what was her name? The sister, Narek's sister.
Oh yeah, she was great.
But she served
Peyton List.
Peyton List, yeah. What purpose does she serve? And Elnor, are we still Lord of the Rings wants their character back? How did he didn't fit anywhere in that whole thing?
They couldn't decide if he was a killer or a child. And then with the sister that, they could have set her up to be the best villain. She could have at the beginning acted the way she did, but once we learned the vision she saw, it was an act, but they couldn't even do that. It was just, they found someone who lived through that process that was also a psychopath. So yay.
She was the one who survived the admonition. Is that what it was called? When they put their hands on the table on the planet with the 8 suns.
But then how does Agnes live through it? Because she sees the vision, the thing, but she saw the vision from O,
Right.
and all she does is puke.
That's a good point.
But
I didn't even
these
think of that.
Yeah, and all these other sisters, I mean, they're smashing themselves in the head with rocks and ripping their faces off. And Agnes is like, "Oh, my cake, you know, or my tuna sandwich."
Because reasons.
Reasons.
So let me ask. So you have something that you want. You have a warning that you want people to come see, right? So what you do is you put it on a remote planet, and you manage to drag 8 suns around the planet. I don't know how a planet has a dense enough gravity well to maintain 8 suns in orbit. And then you create a table that might make people go crazy and kill themselves. But this is how you want people to be warned about incoming disaster.
Well, the only thing with that was it wasn't for biological. That's why they couldn't handle it. It was supposed to be found by synths. They don't really tell you that. You have to figure that out. So, you know, Sutra kind of like it wasn't meant for you guys. It was meant for us. So that's why, you know, the biological brain, many of them couldn't handle it, I guess. That's what I figured it to be.
I must have fallen asleep at that point and missed it.
Can't blame you.
Oh, this show was hard to watch. It was very poorly put together. I don't even want to get into it.
For pacing, for plotting.
It ended the way the whole series was. Picard had no soul. There you go.
Pretty much. You're right. That's a very good way to put it in a way. And I mean, I broke down the whole plot, I think, before you got here, Scott. So, I mean, and it didn't take me that long. It was less than, 2-3 minutes?
Well, let's do a redo if it's that short, seriously, because that's how pathetic the show was.
Basically, all it is, you know, like you have, I forgot the part where Picard finds out he's going to die, but I led to that anyway. But then you have the ban on the synths because the Romulans attack Mars, but they don't wait till after the ships that are meant to save them, you know, are off the planet. No, they destroy those too, like a bunch of dumb shits, creating a huge plot hole there. And then, you know, they obviously brought the Borg cube out to lure out Dodge and Soji. So when they got them involved, well, then they knew where they had to go. Well, then once they went there, the androids saw they were going to be attacked by a bunch of Romulans, so they called on the super AI. Picard dies. They download him into a body. Riker should have slapped him in the face because that's all they needed to save his son with. End of story, really.
Was the Borg cube even needed, though? Like, did that have any effect on the story?
I asked the same question. I asked the exact same question.
The only thing it was for was to lure out Soji and Dodge. That was it. Which you could have thought of a million other things. Exactly. That was the stupidest thing in the world. Yeah.
And even though, like, you know, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. The Borg the ex-Borg that got the neck
Hugh
shot.
Or the other one.
Icheb?
Hugh was the one who got shot in the neck.
Hugh, like, I mean, in one episode's like, oh, you're talking about the secret agent Romulan that she's with. Like, he knew her for how long and he couldn't warn her? Like, he knew he was a secret agent. She had an idea. Like, I never understood that relationship at all, like, between the two. Like, she knew he was you. I don't know. How did you not know he was using you, you dumb android?
Yeah, even Data's not that dumb.
Wow.
No, he was only in prison for 10 years. I mean, they had him the whole time. Like, why not just, I didn't understand why they couldn't, he was in a simulation that was Data, but they were able to create this whole, you know, society from one of his molecules, but yet they couldn't put him
Data
in a body.
DNA.
Yeah, Data DNA, but they couldn't put him in a body.
How did they retrieve anything of Data? We saw him.
Well, the original leaks, it was Data was downloaded to Dodge or Soji or whatever it was. And then I have a feeling they meant for this body to have Data downloaded into. And then that wasn't going to work out. And then they were probably going to have, or they were going to still have Picard downloaded to it, but it wasn't going to be Picard like we know him. They changed that, I feel like, at the last minute because Patrick Stewart decided he was coming back for a second season.
Right. Did you assume they were going to go with like a younger
Either
version?
that or they were just going to kill him. One or the other.
All right.
And it would have been data downloaded into the body.
I still have to ask, how did they get any remnants of data at all? He blew up the scimitar.
No. The Emperor found him. See, what happened was when he blew up and the Death Star blew up, somehow they crossed paths, different shows, I know, but the Emperor did it. Just reasons.
Now, my son said that I missed where they said that it was really B4 who had some of who.
In the beginning of the show, they said that he had tried, like he did in the end of Nemesis, they tried to download Data's, whatchamacallit, his backup or whatever into B4, but it didn't take, was what they said.
See, but then I thought at the last episode, Data verified that he backed himself up, and that's why he's in this simulation.
Yeah, it was kind of like a weird roundabout way thing. And I don't know if this simulation was supposed to be the backup data that they used to try and download into B4, and it was just the backup. Because it's basically an emulation of Data is what it is. It's not really Data. That's what Mecha was trying to get at. It's not really Data. It's not like he...
Right. It's like... It's almost like an after if I downloaded all of my memories into a computer, that's not me.
Yeah, it's basically just a simulation of what your memories create.
Right.
Kind of thing. It's really stupid.
It is. And then another thing that gets me is how do you make, I knew they were going to make Sutra the evil one because she just, looked like the crazy hot android evil one. But like if you're downloaded from Data, you're not lore, you're Data, like you could tell she was after they killed her sister and they show her with everyone behind her, she has like a little smirk, like she's getting pleasure out of this. It's not like it's her in her mind, like this is a logical thing to do to build this thing. It was almost like she enjoyed doing it. And I didn't understand that either.
Oh, you mean how Dodge just was so quick to turn? Just
no. So Sutra's the one
Sutra's
the one that broke him out of jail.
Yeah.
And I knew she helped him kill the other android that was watching him.
Right.
So when she's like, we have to fight them. They're never going to leave us alone. And then, Soji agrees with her. When they pan out of that last episode, it's looking at Sutra, but at all the other, and everybody else is behind her. And she has like a little smirk, like I did it. Like I got this ball a rolling. And it's like, well, I can understand if she's doing this because she believes it's the logical, kind of like Data. This is the logical answer. We have to stop, biological entities from controlling us. But it was like she did it because she enjoyed it. Like, we're going to kill all these mofos. With that little smirk, it showed her that she was getting pleasure out of it.
Well, and I think that was kind of why I kind of get what you're saying. I mean, when
like
she
lore,
killed,
lore. She was more like lore.
Yeah, and I think that's what supposedly was what made Soong change his mind, even though how fucking dumb it seems, because he was just willing to kill everybody 10 minutes before that. But anyway, that's the problem with the show is we're sitting here asking all these fucking questions over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I mean, we've spent so much time debating the aspects of this show. Hey, how you doing, Stephen Walton? That it's just it speaks to the whole point of what is wrong with this, and it's just like it's worse than Discovery in a lot of ways. I mean, production value wise and watchability, no, it's not worse, but in the way that it destroys canon, in the way it destroys this character, the way the show turned out, the waste that it was, it is so much worse. And I
agree 100%. I've been saying that all this time.
Like, to me, when they killed Picard, wasted 3 or 4 minutes of our lives making us like, I didn't fall for it. I knew what they were going to do. I mean, I think everybody knew what they were going to do.
Yeah, the second you saw the column.
So it was like a big fake out anyway, which was so bad. And then to have him come back in the same exact looking body and say, oh, you're not immortal. You just don't have the abnormality and you'll live like the life you normally would. What if he gets hit by a fucking bus?
Right. But don't worry, everything works. You know what I mean, right?
The plumbing works.
Yes, sir. He's like, okay, that's a victory. But
To
you
me,
really,
that was the most damning moment in Star Trek history. I've
Yes.
said that to so many people now, and I think most of them agree with me that it just was. It's just everything else up to this point, nothing that Discovery has done, nothing that any of the other shows have done has been worse than this moment, because you can ignore Discovery. You can ignore the J.J. Abrams movies. Hell, you can even probably ignore a lot of, the things that happened in the latter films, because there's some TNG fans who don't like the Generations movies because Patrick Stewart kept trying to turn himself into an action star.
Yes, you're speaking directly of me right there. Exactly.
So again, there's a lot of those things that you can ignore, but once you get to the series, if you have to accept the series, then you can't ignore all that other shit, and the series ends in such a rough fucking way.
Yep.
That it
ends with fake Picard.
Well, not only that, it's worse than any of those fake out deaths where you, even like with Infinity War and stuff like that, where you knew all these people were coming back.
Right.
It's worse than that, in my opinion.
He can't come back. He can't.
It's not fake Picard. It's not fake Picard. It's JL.
Oh, Jesus. You guys motivated me to start, this show too, because I hated this show so much. I'm like, I have to go back. I never really watched, like, Tom and I have spoken, like, I've never really watched TNG straight through. So I started it. And to see the Picard at the beginning of that series and then see what I just got in this show, Picard, I mean, he was a tough ass in that show. And to think he would ever be fine with, okay, well, I died, but now I'll live on for another 20 years as a fake version of myself. Like, after I've been through all this other crap, becoming Borg, all this stuff, that this is what I would want to do. I sacrificed myself to save you guys, to teach you how to believe in mankind, how to believe that we would be there for you, that, Soji would, not another being will fail you. This guy won't fail you. And what do? They wipe that out with just throwing him in a golem. And now he's going to live on for another season, where his death would have meant so much more, so much more, the sacrifice.
I mean, listen, everything you said it's almost like you've bugged my house or something, because I'm thinking the same thing. I'm looking
through your window right now.
Well, I hope you don't like what you see, but I go back to TNG Tapestry, that brilliant scene at the end. I call it Star Trek's version of It's a Wonderful Life, where he says, I cannot abide living my life out in that pathetic man, or whatever he says, something like that. This Picard would have said, you should have just let me die.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather die the man I was than to live on as that man.
Yes, thank you.
Was that the one where he had kids and grandkids and stuff?
No, it was where Q gives him, he gets into a fight with a Nausicaan, and he has a chance to change that, and he lives out his life, and he becomes mundane when he gets back to the starship.
Gotcha. I'm not.
I agree. I think you guys are right. I honestly don't think Picard would want this.
And I don't know why Patrick Stewart accepted it. That blows my head open.
I will not live out my life as a passionless man in a tedious job.
Well,
that man is bereft of imagination.
They introduced the Deus Ex Machina tool. They should have just used that to fix his ass.
Yeah, great.
Because what's her face is a doctor. She should have just went up behind him, visualized what it was that was wrong with him or whatever, and fixed it.
Wonderful idea.
And then that way you could have saved the body for something more useful.
Oh, why is it all our franchises we can sit here for like 15 minutes and make the movie or episode or series better just by changing a couple things, and these people that don't know the property get the properties
because we care. That's why
they won't allow guys like us and gals like us in the room,
right?
And that's one thing I always hear, and I've said it a million times, is that if you want to write for Star Trek, the first thing the last thing you want to do is tell them you're a fan, because they don't want to deal with that. And I'm sure the same thing goes over at Star Wars and a few other places. The last thing they want to deal with is the baggage that comes along with a fan, because for the exact reason you just said, with the five of us just spent the last 20 minutes totally destroying what they wrote. And it was like, it didn't take us that long to see what was wrong with it. It's because they don't want people questioning them.
Right.
They don't, they just want to be able to do what they want to do. And it goes with that mentality, like Rob and Mech always bring up two of these idiots. It's like, oh, it's fiction. You can do what you want. It just stays
Canon is
wizard.
killing the way we value stories.
Oh god.
It's just that article we just read.
Well, I don't know if you guys did you talk about Gotham High, Mecca?
Oh yeah,
God,
we've been
no,
talking to that
stupid.
nausea about that thing. But oh yeah, that's another perfect example. Yeah.
And Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. But people that don't know the IP at all, I mean, literally, like my husband likes it, but whatever. So I made myself Batman because I wanted to, make him sad. But what gets me is this: like you have these franchises and what these marketing people, and I talked to Script about this, Script Doctor, the other night. How the marketing people want to reboot things and rehash things, and it's what gets me is they don't understand the product at all and the market value of the product, because they want new, younger, hip people to want to read this stuff and watch this stuff. What they don't understand is these things have been around for so long that they have a built-in audience from father to son, father to daughter, mom to kid.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the exact problem with that is they have adopted, and you just said it yourself, they have adopted the mentality that quote unquote, this isn't your daddy's whatever. You ever notice how that always comes up, and no matter what it is? Like that's the mentality that this generation has adopted.
But Tom, them saying that, they're missing the mark. Yeah, it might
exactly. It's lost its meaning. Exactly what you're saying. The ability to pass something on from generation to generation, knowing that Superman's not going to change, knowing that Star Wars isn't going to change, knowing that Star Trek isn't going to change, has gone out the fucking window. You can no longer hand that down to your kids, and your kids don't want it because it's old and it smells like white people.
But Tom, here's the thing. I think you're right. I believe I've read people going on the record saying this is not your dad's Star Trek.
Oh,
that's their exact new mantra on everything. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Well, if you believe that, why are you bastardizing our characters?
Because
I grew up with Kirk, and Picard got my Star Trek. Leave my characters alone and create your new shitty characters like Tilly. Do that. Fine. I just won't watch you, but don't say it's your dad. It's not your dad's Star Trek, and then go back and grab the card.
I didn't think it was going to be that funny, but hashtag smells like white people.
Well, we have with Stephen Walton, we do this show TR4, and it's us two token white guys, and then we have Lorena Creel, and I don't know if you guys know Jane Theory, but Jane Theory, they're two black women, and we got into this conversation because I'm like, I don't know what to say anymore. How do we, you are a person of color, and Jane Theory said it perfectly. With this new set of these creators and stuff, they want to be all inclusive, but what they're really doing is saying person of color, so that lumps anyone who's not white into one group, and then all you old white people over here.
What's fucked up, and I know people have said this before, but back when I was younger, person of color was considered racist. What do you
real racist?
I don't know about you, Q Storm. Obviously, how do you feel about that?
No, I think person of color is a term that in my circles we use all the time.
Okay, I just wanted to wonder because, like, when I was raised, that was like, well, at the same time, we were also told to call black people African American, but most of my black friends say call me black. I'm not African American.
Well,
I'm from Africa. So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you, are you confusing person of color with colored people? That's a different thing.
See, that's right. Yeah, well, definitely, I would never say the latter.
It has that
to me, but that's the stigma to it. That's my
right. Because being a white guy too, it's you definitely don't ever want to say something that's going to offend somebody, and when you have person of color that feels so close to something we were raised with, that's why I don't like using that term. And from the friends I have, they all just say we're black, and
or I just people. That's my problem.
Yeah, well, yeah, I get that, but I really thought her take on person of color was very interesting, and she said it way better than I just said it. But she's even like, you call people Latinos. Well, there's all different types of people that are Latino. Why are we lumping them all into one category? And it's just one way of labeling people. So it's person of color is everybody that is not white. She made a very valid point. You might want to go back and watch that. It's on Stephen Walton's channel, but it was amazing. Like how she explained it. Like it opened my eyes to understanding why certain, people of color don't like that term.
Well, here's my thing. It's like, me, it's Americans and there's non-Americans. That's the way I look at it. I don't really look at the color aspect of things. That's how I was raised too. And I've seen some podcasts where people have fun and goof around and stuff like that, and that's fine. But like there was one, and I'm not going to say what, but there was, some black people on there, and there was people in the chat just asking a bunch of stupid questions to the point where it's like, what difference does it make just because they're black? They're people, they were raised just like everybody else, raised on the same TV, McDonald's and everything. Why does it matter? Why would you think that their aspect on life is any different outside of just because of the color of their skin? And most people that were raised in our era didn't deal with a lot of the same bullshit that people dealt with 40, 50 years ago. And that's the thing that bothers me about kids. Now, Q-Storm, I don't know about your experience in life, but I mean, I don't know if you've noticed a change in things in the last few years, how things have been going. I know you're, roughly Rob and I's age.
In terms of
just how racially things have changed. Like I felt like for a while everything kind of calmed down and we were all kind of on like this equality level.
Well,
and now it's all
separating into categories where it's like, no, we're all just like people. Why the hell separate us?
Yeah, it felt like we were all like on this equality level, and I didn't seem to have a problem. I worked alongside, not just people who weren't white necessarily, but women and all that in general. And now all of a sudden it's like they're trying to tell me like I've been the problem this whole time.
Well, I listen, I don't want to deign to put my finger on the exact thing where we're going here, but I can say that I think from my experience, I think ever since our last elections, that's when I've seen things change significantly. Because I think we're living in a society now where a certain segment of society has been given reign to express ideals that don't really exemplify this country. And I'm being very vague because I don't want to offend.
Well, and I think you're right, and I think it comes from both sides. I think it's not just a one-sided
little
thing.
white girls yell about diversity. That's
and then there's the extreme on the other side too, and I don't want to pretend that it doesn't exist either. I mean, it's funky how we've gotten to this point. It feels like I just don't get it.
Well, I feel like, and you kind of just hit on it. And I grew up early 90s, and people were finally getting to a point where it was like, you know what? I don't care who you are. Live your life the way you want to live it. And I'll respect you. You respect me. It was very like, it didn't have to be said, and I'm talking about my experience, and I've lived in a lot of different areas, and out in rural Pennsylvania, I got jumped by guys because I had a tan. So I get this. I mean, literally. But what I don't understand is how we went back to let's start pointing fingers at everybody and let's be so sensitive. Like I can understand if someone's being disrespectful to you because of who you are, then yeah, you deserve to fight that back. But when we're looking for people, like I'm looking to be hurt, like I'm looking for you to say something that
trying to make yourself a victim.
Yeah, exactly. This victim mentality. I just don't understand it at all. Like it's weak. Like I think you said it too, Tom. Like, I don't know why we have to keep raising ourselves and I grew up Italian American. Well, no, truthfully, I'm American. I've never been to Italy, and I'm only half. So I raise my girls as you're American. And if you want to know your cultural background, like where your descendants are from, we can do that. But you're the fourth generation of Americans. And I wish we just all accepted that we were Americans. Doesn't matter what color you are, what race, what sexuality you are, we're Americans.
I brought this up like last week. I'm like, especially after 9/11, it felt like everybody had kind of really set their bullshit aside.
For a little while.
It really did. And really, like, as far as on this panel here, the only one who could really even closely say that they're an Italian American is Rob, because he's like one generation off the boat.
He's Worcester Street.
Like his dad is literally from Italy. So, I mean, like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. He's got some hellacious stories about him. Yeah. Shit, he
captured by the Nazis at 16.
What?
But yeah, my father was captured by the Nazis. The Nazis came in. They came into the village. They had everybody line up. They lined up all the men. The officers went around. They felt their arms, make see if they're muscular. Okay, you take him. And the women came out. No, don't take him.
He was what? 14, 15, 16. You said not even
15 or 16. And the I don't know, the Nazi officer said, the officer said, listen, if we don't take them, if we don't take the men, we're going to take the women. And so they took him to a work camp. His job was getting water every day. The guards would follow him, would go with him to the well with the machine guns behind him. And one day it was raining. They said, okay, you go, just come back. Okay. And he took off. They captured him, brought him back, and the same thing happened. He took off again. And finally, General Mark Clark liberated Italy. But there was time he was walking down the road, an armored column went by him, German armored column. He put his head down, thinking they're going to find him, and they just drove past him. Obviously they had something that more important things. But he was banging on the church door in the rain, Father, let me in. If the Germans catch me, they're going to shoot me. The priest told him, if the Germans know I let you in here, they're going to shoot me. And he said that's when he that was the point where he had enough to do with priests. So
wow.
He said there was a farmer down the road. He said, oh, come on, I got 7 kids. What's one more? And he slept in the barn.
And we have kids nowadays that, like, if their parents at 28 tell them to get a job, they're like, microaggression.
Right? Yeah, microaggression. It goes even farther than that when he met the American troops, right, Rob?
Yeah, General Mark Clark liberated Italy, and the Americans came in. He was somebody had dropped a pack of crackers underneath the Jeep, so he said, he was fishing around for the crackers, and one of the guys says, "Look out! He's trying to plant a bomb." Like the sergeant's like, "No, the kid's hungry. Go get him something to eat." And he said that was the first time he ever had bacon and eggs.
They've been an American ever since, pretty much.
That's someone I would never complain to, ever.
Ever since the Americans, they came in, they had everything. They put a lot of the locals, they gave a lot of locals jobs, and they put a lot of them to work, and they were very grateful. Everybody was very thankful. They were treated as heroes. Great, the great liberators will be treated as liberators. They really were liberators. And he, ever since then, when he married my mother, one thing he always had to have in the house was Spam. There was always a can of Spam, because that was what the soldiers ate.
Sense.
Yeah, Spam.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And that was what, that's one generation from you. We'll say two, maybe 3 to this generation right now, the Zers. And like, literally, they're finding reasons that you hurt their feelings.
Well, Rob's dad is a little older. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So I'm saying like 3, maybe, but like, they're finding reasons to say why you hurt me, but they still won't stop going to spring break because, so what, boomer? You're going to die. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
My father came here from Italy in 1952. Married my mom. They had my brother Dave a few years later. And like I said, there were still things he didn't quite understand. He didn't quite understand the internet. He didn't understand the internet, but he was like kind of curious about it. But one thing he always said to me though was that you need a job you can work for. You need a job you work for a long time. And I said, Dad, nobody works one job for 20, 30 years anymore. You just don't. I mean, I told him you're lucky to get 5 now. He didn't quite understand, because back then when you had times were good in America in the 50s and 60s. You could change jobs with no problem. Now that's not the case anymore. So he didn't quite understand what had happened. And says, well, things changed.
Well, yeah, but back then you can make most companies, you can make a career at staying at one place. They actually took care of you. Nowadays, like, you have to jump around, so it is different.
Yeah. I mean, they would train you in a job. They would hire you and they would train you. Not anymore.
Yeah. That's because they used to look at, employees as a fucking investment. I don't want to sit here and talk like, oh, back in our days and back in our parents' days.
We are doing it, though. We are totally doing it.
But it's sad. I mean, it's pretty sad, though, when you look at the whole. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, my mom didn't have to get a job until I was about 5 years old. So that means up through that point in the 80s, they were, you could still pretty much raise a family on a single income.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. One of the things I never knew until recently. My mother used to get upset with him because he used to go bowling all night long on Saturday night. That's back when the bowling alley used to be open for.
That's when you go, Mom. That's how he makes sure he stays happy with you. Otherwise,
or like the guy earned it. The guy earned it.
him and my uncle Nick used to go bowling all night long. I remember one time he won a turkey for Thanksgiving bowling. That was remember that as a young kid. He won a turkey. So, yeah. So, but
it's a major award.
It's a major award. Exactly. That was his major award. He won a turkey. So, oh Lord.
I suppose. I think we've beaten this turkey to death.
Yeah. Well.
Yes, sir.
Hey, phrasing.
So okay. Well, anyway, we gotta have Q Storm on again.
Absolutely. We'd love to get the other guys on too. Do check out the Red Shirt Podcast channel. I shared that in the chat for you guys to go subscribe over there. They do a lot of Star Trek content. So yeah, we got to get you guys on here pretty soon to talk some.
You know, like you said, we're boomers. We have kids, so I love you young guys that you know. With I don't know, do you guys have kids? Any of you guys have kids?
Oh yeah, mine's 18 now. I mean, I
got 2 small ones.
Yeah.
Wow, how do you just get on so quick?
No, my wife is being an angel right now.
Okay.
An angel. You know, I'm probably one of the older ones. I'm 44.
You better make it up to her tonight, big boy.
Oh, I am. I'm stretching as we speak.
Oh my God.
Not just that, like 2 times down below. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you, brother.
Get under the hood, make sure everything's running correctly.
I got you.
All right. So check out the Q Storm on the Red Shirts podcast. Check out the Sporking Nude podcast as well, of course. Check out Mecha Random 42. Do you got any videos coming up tonight, Mecha, or did you already drop all those?
Well, I'm fighting for one to get monetized. It's over on Patreon right now, and I've got a Star Wars one and something else probably coming.
Is that the one with Anakin, Mecha?
Yeah, I got the one with Anakin that I'm clipping for my stream, and yeah, I'm trimming it a little bit so I'm a little less searchings for, doing searches while in the video. Just gonna trim it down a little bit, but yeah.
Now, what did Anakin do?
Oh, he's an incel.
Aren't all of the Jedi's incels?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
pretty much.
Oh, no, they're voluntarily celibate, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of. Well, that's pretty much what an incel is.
They're V cells, I guess.
All cells.
Some dumb chick who's trying to get publicity for her TV show and nobody's knowing it or paying attention to it is mad, so she goes after Star Wars.
Was that the Redcon though? Because I heard something about a Redcon from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I don't think it was the retcon. This
is
I don't know. I didn't read the whole thing actually. Probably. The chick from the chick from what the crap's her thing called? Vagrant Queen rewrote it. So I don't know what she rewrote it in. Let me see.
Jedi or MGTOW. I could see fucking Al Bundy as a Jedi. That'd be amazing. He's the one who came up with, we don't need women. All they will do is mess with our midichlorians.
That's perfect.
And take all our money.
This is how these articles go, like in one ear and out the other.
Oh, geez. This one comes from, I'll show this real quick because this one comes from Bounding Into Comics, our good friends over there.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of dumb people running their mouths on stuff that they shouldn't be talking about.
They're all celibate, though. I mean, Anakin just broke one of the tenets.
Well, technically they are allowed to have sex, they just can't have attachments. Is the whole thing.
I just saw that. That's what I don't like. I don't like when they change characters to try to suit an agenda. Am I allowed to do that? I don't like Lando being pansexual, and I get called homophobic because I say that. It's
toasters have feelings too.
No, you're fine because even what's his face, Billy D. Williams, like, what the fuck is pandosexual?
Yeah, he did a quick about face on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, because he didn't. Well, he was asked some question. He's like, "Yeah, I'm all about that. Sexuality is liquid, baby. Everybody's cool, you know, like whatever, you know." He didn't realize what the fuck they were talking about.
No.
Where's that porno music? I was saying, yeah, you know, I thought Pandosexual was getting it on with some cookware. You know, it does have the name Pan, and might as well get some Colt 45 malt liquor. Colt 45 works every time.
That's pretty true. What do you use for lube, Crisco?
Hey, phrasing.
Son of a monkey.
All right. Son of a monkey. All right, guys, let's get the fuck out of here. What do you
some music?
Yeah, give me some music.
Thanks, Q-Storm. Thanks, Scott from Sport News. Thanks, Mecca Random. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everybody in the audience for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.